Now, let's get into the first part. Noli is by far one of the better killers, in my opinion. Cause there's Cool Kid, he's like never playing anymore, cause he's really easily countered. Nosferatu had the same problem. Slasher, he's only good if you have the same skill. One X skills are good. Guess 666, I think I already mentioned that, he's easily countered nowadays. John Doe. He's really the trapper, and I personally suck at trapping people. So here's why I like Noli. He is a simple to play killer. He is by far one of the easiest ones to learn. He has great ways of dealing damage, and he does heavy damage when he lands it. So let's get to the second part. Now, Noli has a fairly simple moveset. He had a slash. This slash does 25 damage. That's actually one of the better ones. His second ability is called Void. In this ability, he rushes forward to your opponent, then rushes again, and if you hit them, you slam them on the ground, dealing as much damage as we'll tell you about that later. His turn ability is called Nova. If this hits a wall, it does a pretty big impact. If it hits the floor, then medium-sized impact. If it hits the player, it will do a big-sized impact. If you manually detonate it, it will do a small impact. There is Nova, and his final ability is called Observant. Whenever you use it, you are able to see every single generator on the map. And if you click on one of your little Noli faces, you can teleport it. One more thing about this is that you can always cancel it whenever you want. So, also, his two passives. One of his passives is called Prankster. I believe this one is how hallucination works. We'll talk about that later. And one of them is something else I can't remember, but it's when 5 fake generators spawn, as you can count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I don't know where the other 3 are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, the others are there somewhere, but there will always be some amount. This generator, it is real, but I'm pretty sure this generator is also real. This one I believe is fake. Oh yeah, this one's fake. Now, the old best way of telling it was fake or not was to look at the top for a Noli face. My personal opinion on figuring out the best way is the wires. You can see there's little black spots on the wires. That means it is fake. Do not do it. That's bad. However, if you somehow don't notice the wires, pay attention to the currency you get and the amount you get, because that also varies if it's a fake generator. Like for example, once I got yen from a generator, that was kind of funny. Now let's get into the next part. Okay. I'm sure everyone already knows how to use Emperor. It's a very basic tool. Very basic. But Void Rush is what a lot of people don't know how to use. Let me explain. Void Rush is a very basic tool. Like you charge to your opponent, then you can charge at someone else and chain it back to them. Or one thing you can do, you can slam into them again, which will slam them. Now, the way I slam them is actually wrong. So, I'll explain how you properly slam them now. So, the way you slam someone is essentially, you do it so if So I'm sure I've already mentioned. Actually, no, I have not mentioned it. Noli has a special effect he can apply only with him. The way this effect works is basically, well, to put it into simplest terms, he can trick others. I'm sure you've already figured it by now. Noli is a master of confusion. So, if your survivor there's level 0, level 1, level 2, and level 3. Here's how every single level works. If they have level 0 or level 1, the first point will always be different. If they have 2 or higher, they will now get slammed. However, doing the slam will reset all of their hallucinations and they'll be back to 0. Now, this is very cool because this does lead to some really cool text, which I'll explain later. But that is basically that's the beginning of Void Rush. Now, if you want to learn how to wall hug, what you do, well, I did it wrong there, so let me explain. You go onto the wall, and while Void Rushing, before turning, you will turn 45 degrees, like when you're over here. Then you turn the rest 45 over here, and you will wall hug. You're gonna be completely touching the wall. Like, yeah, that's how you wall. And oh god, he's dead. But one more thing with Noli, always abuse the first few milliseconds of Void Rush. Here is how much I can turn up the game. Now literally says I can turn. Here is how much I turn after. Do you see how long it takes to turn? Oh my gosh. So, Void Rush always appears to be a long way through, which in reality it really is. But it is much harder to do. Here's why. Let's say I'm chasing someone, like I'm down here, I'm chasing. Now we both have like 2 stamina. I technically still have the advantage. However, now that both of us are really low and he can't shoot, this is a good time to do it. I could start this, then I could go there and every single time you do Void Rush, you must, whenever you hit your opponent, you always have to hold it. It will make you go much faster. This started fast, right? The one I told you to even and try to catch people off guard. Do like this, and then randomly go like this. After I told you, 50% of the time they will not accept it. I mean, more like 70. Now, let me bring my little guy back. Okay. Finally, I've gotten some stuff sorted out. Let's talk about the next part. Now, you may be wondering, like, oh my god, everyone knows how to use this ability. It's dumb and stupid. Whoa, no, this is the best ability in the whole entire game. I do not care what you say. Like, maybe a tingle is better, but I do not care. This is so good, and people never use this. I don't understand why. This is such a good ability. So let's say little Timmy up here he's camping. He's emoting. This guy doesn't have emotes because this is his first ever time playing Forsaken. But let's say he's emoting. I'm mad. I want to kill him, but I have to run all the way up here. Now he will have the advantage. He can go down and boom. Now I have to chase him, but he has the stamina advantage. Here is something you could do instead. Timmy's gonna come up. Timmy, please come. And now here is little Timmy now. I use my Nova, I completely missed, but here's what I could do. I could click, let's say, over here, and now little Timmy has been pulled down. Now I have the stamina advantage, and he also took damage. Now let's let little Timmy heal up, because I feel really bad, and heck, let's even get into regeneration. Okay, now I'm gonna show you one more thing you could do. So little Timmy is up here camping. He's really annoying. I'm mad. I'm mad. What you can do, you can pull him down and instantly voice up. Oh my god, look at that. He's already almost dead. Look at that. Look at him. He's pathetic. He's useless. Here in this dumb, stupid. Okay. Besides insulting Little Timmy, I probably hurt his feelings. Let's let him heal. Okay, he kind of used all of his fried chicken. Well, let's talk about some really cool techs with Nova. Now, if you didn't know, Nova, you can detonate yourself. You release it and click R. That's how you manually detonate it. Now, if you, I need to disable, I need to enable cooldowns for this. Okay, here is how you do this tech. You throw your Nova, and when it's above their head, you need to throw a little higher, but detonate it above their head. For this, we need to talk about a mechanic that only not enough people talk about. Little Timmy is up here, right? When Little Timmy falls, he gets slowed down for quite a good amount of time. You saw it, right? So are you seeing what we're trying to do? Since Nova can pull users to its very center, by abusing the pull, what you can do, basically, what I just did, I pulled him slightly up, and that will make him fall stagger. Now he's going slower, and that gives me a good amount of time. And now, look at that, sweet 40 damage. Heck, I think he hurts. Let's give him a little healing. 1 second, I think he hurts. Poor baby crying. Okay, while that's running, you see how good. Also, if you don't even need to do a tech for this. Heck, you can do this is M1 is easy damage. Look how good that is. This ability, just spam it. Whether it's good or don't spam it, but this ability will almost always be beneficial for you. But let's talk about the next trick. So you remember the little generator I was talking about? Well, Observant, we already talked about this, and this ability doesn't really have an in-depth review. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, we already talked about it. So we talked about it, but we didn't talk about one thing about the ability. Now, I'll tell you in the tech for this, but the closer you teleport to the survivor, the less hallucination I believe they get. It might be the more, but you saw how he had a really light outline. That means he had 1 hallucination, I believe. But let's say I teleport all the way over there. Now you see how he's really dark? That's weird. Now I can easily go and guarantee he slams. No doubt. He has to slam. They're not gonna do the little chain technique which allows you to chain. So that's really all I can talk about for this. Let's get into some really cool stuff. Okay, I'm sure everyone's been waiting for this. They don't want a little overview of the ability. Nobody cares. Here's what you're here for. You're here for text, right? I've already told you some really basic text, like for example the Nova one, the Void Rush one. But here is one tech I do not recommend unless you have a good amount of time. And also, let's be real here, nobody uses this tech. So actually I named it because I don't know its actual name, if it even had a name. It's called the fake being a clone. Now we didn't talk about hallucination a lot. So hallucination, it can do multiple things. It can fake a juice car shield, it can fake a pizza, it can fake quite a lot. It can even fake you. It will fake you hitting it, and you'll even decrease its health. But the second it's over, nobody cares. Okay, so how can we abuse this? Well, first of all I need to reveal where they are. But one tech you can do. Teleport to a very far away generator. Void rush over to them. But stop when you have a really good hit. And just hit them. Like, why? Like, they're gonna, like, okay, currently he's taking damage because he's being hit by a hallucination. But, now I look like a hallucination. Like, on his screen, I look really fake. He can, like, begin trusting me. And then made himself M1 him, and he's unexpected. So that's one tech. Next is what I like to call a bounce hop tech. What you do first, you make a full step into M1 and actually M1 twice. But basically, you have to go on top of them. M1, void rush, void rush back into it. That it's almost, I believe it can one shot most survivors. I don't think you can finish off a guest with 30% overheal. Not 30%, 30 health overheal. But just see how insane this is. Like, this is honestly like one of the better killers. And here is now why I believe that. So we talked about this solo tech, we talked about combining techs. But why you Noli? Like, why do I like him so much? What makes him so much better than all others? Well, let's go in order. Slash is 2 melee for me, and I do not have skill. Now, Cool Kid, let's be real here. I think everyone figured out how to counter him. John Doe is a trapper, and I'm not very good being a trapper. Well, who else? And Noli, we're talking about why I like him. 1X, they don't have many, like, you can't aim his projectiles high. They're like in a straight line. That's basically 1X's projectile. Guess 666, he's actually pretty good, but like he'd really easily like loot. However, Nosferatu, I'm sorry, he's buns, garbage, hate, L, nobody likes him, nobody cares about him. He was added to the game for no reason, he's extra filler content, nobody likes him. But Noli, he had an infinite projectile that helped counter looping and unpredictable. A really good stamina. Oh my god, that's so good. And he had a literal teleport. What more could you want? This is one of the better killers. Like, I do not recommend spamming Observant or Nova, but I do recommend spamming Void. The original problem with guests could block it, you have to manually stop it in case they block. But most of the time that would lead to the guest not blocking entirely. And that was honestly so frustrating that when the guests could block more than just. So that is why I recommend Noli. Now, what I see nowadays, a lot of newer players are beginning to play Noli. And I really support that. Like, 2-hour players, I see like always with Noli. However, the thing with Noli, that he's the master of confusion. And that's what a lot of people are forgetting nowadays. He's not made for like a tank, like instant damage, like 1X. He's made to deceive your opponent. If you don't deceive your opponent, you're basically not playing Noli. Like, why did you teleport? You should catch them off guard, of course. And look, now I can instantly void rush and they have catch them. Why did Noli teleport? It's like he's going so far. Well, that's because he's going to catch them off guard. Why did Noli literally chose the manually explodable projectile? You can't predict when it will explode. That's because he's a master of deception. That's why he summons fake generators. It's because his purpose is to fake out. His purpose is not to do damage. And that's what a lot of people are forgetting. Nowadays, when I see newer, even old Noli players, they always use Noli as like a way to deal heavy damage. They don't observe this. Oh my god, you ignore it. They don't use a void rush. They do use void rush. They don't use Nova text, and they don't manually detonate. People are really forgetting what was the point of Noli. With all of these newer killers and people becoming much better at the game, sticking to Noli's true intent is much harder. But I believe if everyone played Noli on a trickster, Noli could genuinely become the best killer in the game because now he would become insanely unpredictable. But I guess I'm dead.